Well, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Oh my gosh, last night, I don't know what I did. Nerve compression on this side. Oh, it felt like I'd been smashed with a sledgehammer right through here. With this arm already at a disadvantage because of the nerve compression, and then all of a sudden this arm going, oh, ow. I'm like, oh no. And I went to bed thinking about it because here is where I severed the radial nerve to my hand. My hand was paralyzed for well over a year, but nerves do heal, and so I got function back. But because of this, oh, this gets bad. So when I was in bed with horrible insomnia, I was thinking about this, but no, it was just something here where it still hurts. It's not good. It's worse than it usually is, but it's not here or back here. It's all here, which means it is still this, because all of my feelings of pain, except for arthritis and stuff in my hands, all of that is from the nerve compression squeezing the sensory nerves that go to my limbs. Yay! So, yay. But past that, I've actually been doing well, though not been doing much. Still cocooning because of the pain. My arm is doing better because I'm not using it much. I can already feel it starting to tingle because I'm using it more now, so I'm going to use it less. But I made rice this morning, jasmine brown rice. I added both a little bit of soy and a little bit of Tabasco when it started, you know, with the uncooked grains in there. And then later on, when it was really a roiling boil, that's when I added the rosemary and the thyme and then the sweet basil, I think it's pronounced. I'm still not sure. I could look it up on Google, but so that is, I ate a little bit of it because that was breakfast, and the rest of it's in the refrigerator for later. But yeah, I eat largely like a half a can of chili and a couple scoops of rice, and oh my god, is it so good. So I've got red beans just in a can by themselves, so I want to start cooking rice with beans and spices, get cheese so I can put cheese on it. I'm not going to get a tortilla or anything like that. I mean, I am gluten intolerant, so I still eat wheat products, and you can't get away from wheat. It's like with corn. If you're allergic to corn, you are hosed. Everything has corn in it, and I mean literally everything. They use corn powder in like toilet paper and paper towels to keep the things from clinging to each other. They use corn and corn products in everything. Perfumes, plastic stuff. Soy sauce has wheat in it. So I can't really eat soy because of the gluten stuff in it, but I'm going to. Just like you can't avoid other things. Now, I've known some people that are actually allergic, need to have an EpiPen if they get corn. They have to wear like N95 masks going out because corn's in everything. Ugh. So joy on that. But yeah, lots of rice. Love rice, so can't just eat rice alone. You need it to be with other things, but it's still just delicioso. Thumbs up on that. Past that, one of the channels that I watch, I'm going to talk about this one for a while, Geek Gamers. I haven't watched the whole video, I just started. She's got an hour-long video about a new game by Alex T/Black Oath, which I've talked about before, where I have the game Sacrifice, and then they came out with a supplement, and then it was being given out free if you had the original book, but I bought the paperback book through Amazon, and I got irate on drive-thru because I hadn't realized this stuff. Alex T got in contact with me. We talked about some stuff. He said, yeah, I hate buying a book. And then immediately afterward, the publisher comes out with the updated book. So he sent me a bunch of codes to get me the updated stuff. But he does a lot of work, and my gosh, I don't know how he does it. He doesn't just do one book or two books or three books. He's got, just in the like last year, come out with 3 or 4 deep products. The latest one being Nathalis, where you're undergoing an unending necropolis, being the story. You wake up in this, there's a city that has the stories of the city that was underneath it. But you wake up under there for some reason, I can't remember what, and you're in there, but it's not an underground city, it's an underground necropolis. And it's filled with things that you would find in a necropolis, all sorts of undead stuff, and you've got to survive and go through it. And it's mechanically, I gotta say, I haven't looked through it, mechanically deep apparently, and she likes it better than 4 Against Darkness. One character, and again, it being an Alex T game, it is not something that's light and simple when you're going into it. It's deep mechanics, but again, deep horror stuff. Sacrifice, a deep horror setting, and then there's a drowned world setting, and that's a deep horror setting, and then there's this, and it's a deep horror setting. It's like thumbs up for that. So yeah, there's all sorts of good cool stuff out there, but I'm going to look into this other channel because someone in comments, whom I hate ADHD, if I don't write stuff down, I'm not going to remember who and what, but I forget to write stuff down. But she was talking about she or he, they, I can't even remember. Who can tell from usernames, especially when your brain doesn't function properly? They were talking about a different channel with a different game that was being played, and so I'm going to look in the channel, look into the game. I, of course, would only be doing it solo. In time, I might look for an online group to do it. I'm not sure. I have withdrawn so much from society that, I mean, my brain has made me withdraw. I haven't withdrawn and then had to adjust to it. I've been withdrawing because of things. I mean, and it's not I'm a hermit. It's just when I was younger, I started high school in 1977. But by 1977, I had already stopped watching television. I didn't like TV. I still don't watch anything like that. I mean, part of it ADHD and all, but yeah, I was also withdrawing. When I was in my early 20s, I was still trying to be a GM for games then. But I was busy withdrawing from everything. And then as I got older, in my 30s, reaching the year 2000 and some, I was really withdrawn. I went to work, and then I came home and did my stuff. I got married, but then she got really, really sick, and our world shrank. She went from an independent person going out and doing a lot of stuff, going to conventions for like Rainbow Girls and all this, and that came to a halt. And so we didn't go out and do anything because she couldn't. And so there was still more withdrawal. And now with all this going on after the death of my wife, and here I'm withdrawn. I don't know that I would like to go and get into an online group. As soon as I go out to do things that I want to do, I immediately start counting down the time to when I can escape and withdraw back to like here. So I am withdrawn, but I still like being around people. That's the thing too. I wouldn't like being a hermit or recluse because I'm not around people. I enjoy being around people. That's one of the reasons I like being in the place here. I'm around people. I'm around people, things, people doing things. I don't need to necessarily be involved. It makes me happy just to be around that. So I am withdrawn that way. If I have the feeling that if I did go on to find an online group to play, the minute that I zoomed in, if it was a Zoom thing or whatever happened to be at the time, so I grew up with Skype, so I doubt that would be it. But I would likely I would likely be just counting the minutes to when I could shut it off and do something else. At least I understand these things now. I didn't. My whole life. And I have been beating my head against all kinds of walls. And the walls have never moved. I've just gotten beaten and bloodied. By understanding what I am, who I am, what makes myself tick, I can push in places that I'm okay and I feel that I can do it. But also understanding, if I keep beating my head on that wall, when I die, that wall will still be here, but my head's gonna be mighty, mighty soft. So, yeah, just understanding that there's some things that I can and can't do, and some of those are being involved in doing things in a social environment. Part of that, too, social anxieties along with other generalized anxieties. I can't help those. And of course, when you have anxiety, if you have constant low-level anxiety, it is a constant trickle of adrenaline, because in the back of your mind, you're being told, you need to get out of here. Something bad is going to happen. And when you have social anxieties, you add that with the, oh my God, people, and it's just, you're crawling out of your skin. So, life is fun. But again, I don't want to talk about just negative things, because life is not all negative. I have a stack of paper that I can't pick up properly. But one of the things, here's a sheet of paper that's just a torch in the dark. I still want to do this one. It involves dice, but also it's largely cards, normal playing cards that you're flipping over to discover what is in the darkness. So that would be a good one. You gotta use it, or you're gonna lose it. It may hurt like the devil to do this, but oh, if I don't use my arm, it's all gonna tighten up even worse. So I got stuff. I'm gonna try and do some recording today. It's wet. I'm gonna do walkies later. Yesterday I did do a walkies where I went from here, walked to the path, walked through the path, got to the end, the path that goes by the stream, and then just turned around and walked back. I was thinking maybe I'll go to Walmart, and I didn't, because why? I got food and drink. So yeah. Yay. So hopefully I'm going to get the Fallout New Vegas stuff done today. Hopefully some other stuff with the readings. I've got that color out of space I got to get done. I'm waving my arm around, and boy, this is sparkling. So I'm going to wave my arm around a little bit less. But I got plans, I got stuff that I want to do, and I am, again, constantly thinking of my settings. One of the things that I have wanted to do, I've talked about Iron John. Now, Iron John in the setting where there's artificial people and non-artificial people. You got organics and inorganics, both of them considered human beings. And in the context of the setting, they are. It's just artificial conception and creation, but once you're made, you're a human being. And in the context of the setting, the human mind has a certain quantum knotting pattern. Each individual has their own pattern formed by quantum knotting that forms around intelligence. And these beings have that. They are human. They're just inorganic. I've been thinking about, since he goes from 1.4 million years in the past to the present in the context of the razor's edge, what would it be like if, say, this individual, Iron John, was introduced into the cryptid part of the world and discovered that in fact they had that cryptid gene and it activated? In the context of the setting again as well, everybody has 3 genetic sets, only one of which is on our level. The other 2 are extra universal, but are still all a part of us. One of them is your cryptid genome, where if you're a human being and your cryptid genome activates, you can express as a cryptid. Or if things fail and you have the genetic disease, your third eye opens, you can interact with the cryptid world, but you still are in a human body. The other genome is the one that allows you to use glamours to travel, where because in the razor's edge and on the inside, places are not connected physically unless there's something intelligent to hold and stabilize an area. And so there is superpositioned anything between here and here. But if you just go walking, you're going to separate and become your own separate layer that will never connect to anything. The only way to travel from place to place is glamours, which is just, it's anything can be a glamour, but it's just from where you are to where they are, where you want to go. Something there is an anchor point, and you connect with that anchor point, and you can effectively attach to this wire, walk along it, and then you're traveling through micro layers until you get to the layer that you want to be at. Now, if it's effectively 50 kilometers away, you're still going to be traveling 50 kilometers. You're just going to be traveling 50 kilometers through tiny little bits in all these micro layers as you travel. And there's all these doors, one of which in the razor's edge that I write about, that has, or talk about, from the razor's edge to where we are, the outside, and from the razor's edge to the inside. And it is these glamours that allow you to travel from where we are to the razor's edge, and then from the razor's edge to the inside. So if your genome that way expresses, then you can travel. The odds of anybody's genome activating with all three are pretty low. Everybody that's a human being, no matter where you are, inside, outside the razor's edge, every human being has the normal one. Everybody on the razor's edge has the activated glamours genome. So that's two of them. Everybody out here, well, everybody has the cryptid one, but it's only the cryptids who are exposed to the cryptid energy in our world that express as cryptids fully. It's 2% for us out here, 2% of us are able to gain activated genome that allow us to use glamours. 2% of the people have an activation on their cryptid genome. So it's a very small amount of people that have any sort of ability on either side. And if you have both, well, that's only about 2% of that tiny percent that has that. So if Iron John was able to deal with the cryptid world, that would be a mighty, mighty strange coincidence, but I'm thinking of it, especially since I think it would be amusing to have one of the cryptids just trying to figure him out with this, like, inorganic, but human, and they can't really figure that one out, because they like to eat people, and they don't want to eat this hard metal thing, but yet they're still human. How weird. Just odd. And of course there's a person that I do not know the name of, but I've been thinking of, where what would it be like for an individual to have a moderately low, like if you gamify it, everyone who does not have their cryptid genome activated is like at 0 to 100, we're at 50 and below. 51 and above, your third eye is opened and you can interact with the cryptid world. The higher the number, up to 100, the more you can interact with the cryptid world, the less you can interact with the normal world. So what would it be like for someone who could still interact pretty much normally with the real world, but can still see and interact with some of the cryptid world? Like if their number was 55, not very high, and just sitting in a bench and having somebody else, come up and sit next to them on that park bench, and then look over there, look and go, oh yeah, I see who you're staring at over there. Yeah, she's quite a looker. She's got a body on her and she knows it. And it's like the person who's looking at these things goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you see her too? I stopped asking other people if they see these beings, because everyone started thinking I was crazy. No one sees it, but you see them? How can you see and interact with these people and no one else can? To which that person replied something along the lines of, okay, You can see cryptids. No, not necessarily using that word. You can see people like that because your third eye is opened. You're able to see the world the way it really is. I can see individuals like her because I'm one of them too. And yeah, it's a cryptid that comes up to talk to him. Not to hurt him. When your third eye opens, there is a genetic imperative among cryptids. Do not eat these individuals. Do not harm or kill them. And if you go against your nature, that really hurts you emotionally, physically, everything. You will get down and start to throw up. And cryptids don't vomit, so that is rough. So they act within their nature. And so, yeah, this person is like not befriended by, but introduced to what he's seeing by an actual cryptid. So, yay! And of course, I still have my other characters. There's Benjamin and Thomas, who are a couple. One a cryptid and one human. And of course, for cryptids, love, especially love going across species lines, they have had love, but they have largely lived mostly as animals for several 100,000 years. Becoming urban cryptids is relatively new within the last 120 years, and a lot of them aren't catching up very quickly. So love as we know it is a relatively newish feeling for a lot of them, and then feeling it for humans is even weirder, because the one cryptid, you know, who's part of the partnership there, they eat people like their partner, but their partner, they love them. They would kill to keep them alive. And that is a weird feeling for any cryptid at all. So still dealing with those sort of things where, as well, because cryptids are largely more instinctive than human beings, they speak in a more direct manner. And since they really want to devour human flesh, oh my god, a constant burning need to fill their bellies with human meat, but you act within your nature. They always talk in very complimentary tones after a breakdown on another thing that I'll remind myself and others of, where when they say, oh, you smell good enough to eat, they mean it. They mean it. Your smell makes them want to eat you in raw, bloody, steaming bites until your meat is filling their belly. And of course, if they did so, the only real regret they would have is they can't eat you again. But act within your nature, it's a compliment. And when you tell someone else, a cryptid to cryptid, hey, you look good enough to eat, yeah, again, they mean it. But that's a compliment. So thumbs up on that. But yeah, I'm still working on my gaming stuff. I got my reading stuff. I want Fabled Lands. I got Demons and Dungeoneers, more of which I want to do. So thumbs up on that. I talk with the author periodically. There's no real progression between books. They can be played in any order. And he's working on them all the time and releasing new characters and character sheets with full backstories. So I'm going to be doing some more readings on those. Yay! For every one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up and thank you so very much. It is appreciated. It hurts living in America as if you're disabled and you can't really do anything. With your help, you take away that sting. And not completely. I mean, there's no way to do that. but you help, and that is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone that is beautiful and awesome, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For everybody that leaves me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. I cannot answer as many of the comments as I would like because I can't type for very long before, oh boy, I need to stop. But while I can, I try, and when I can't, well, please remember that each and every one of these comments is appreciated. Now, if you have read this far, ouch, if you've watched this far, ground black pepper for engagement down in the comments to let me know you watched this far, and to let the algorithm know that people actually do watch. So that'd be cool. So thank you, it is appreciated, and I hope your day is awesome. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. Yay! This is the air system up there. It's supposed to be constantly monitoring the air, and then if it gets to, I don't know, but there's a fan with a filter that it blows air out. Some people say that those things drive them crazy. I think it's a mosquito sound because I don't hear it, or else mine just doesn't work or hasn't turned on yet. We'll see come summertime. Anyway though, you take care, and yeah, so I'm gonna yeah. I'm not an idiot, I promise. I just play one on TV.